Happy Friday, I'm Rob Mack.
Oh, and I'm Jezlan Moyet. Welcome to EverTalk Live, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for all things happiness in Hollywood, a little pop culture and positivity, and I couldn't be happier to be here with you today.
Feeling is mutual.
Rob
Boy,
Mack.
it feels like a Friday, doesn't it?
Oh, well, Cristina Curp is in the house. She is the author of Made Simple, and of course, she's from the Castaway Kitchen. How are you today, Cristina?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So how do you wake up and stay woke? What's your routine like?
Well, I have a 7-year-old, so I wake up and check on him, make sure he's alive. And then my other baby, I have a little mini schnauzer, and feed him. And then I have some tea, because I just gave up coffee. Help me. And I journal a little bit before then I start, the hustle, like the normal email, social media, making breakfast for the kids and all that.
Oh, awesome. So you do keep it simple. What do you journal about?
So usually, I tend to be a nighttime thinker, so I if I have really vivid dreams, I always have really crazy dreams and I remember them. So I kind of jot them down and put my intentions forward for the day. Like as an entrepreneur, I think that's a big thing of you have to know what you want and go for it, and also ride that roller coaster, because it's not always like sunshine and rainbows, and we have those moments. They always say being an entrepreneur is this is amazing, this is the worst. I'm a genius, I'm failing. So I tend to journal those emotions so I can go back and be like, okay, I'm not totally crazy. This is just the wave.
That's true. That's like being bipolar, schizophrenic, and a Gemini all at the same time.
Exactly.
I am a Gemini.
Are you?
Yes.
So I knew you guys were cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Because Jez also says something that you say about being a night thinker, right? You're a daydreamer.
Daydreamer, night thinker. I think that's a Gemini experience. When is your birthday, Cristina?
June 20th.
Ah, okay. June 1st. We're in great company.
We are in good company.
Philip, you're a Gemini as well?
I'm a Gemini, June 9th.
Oh,
All right.
okay. I knew I liked him. I always attract Geminis. Welcome back to EverTalk Live. If you want to heal yourself through healthy habits and real food, then you want to meet our next guest, Cristina Curp from the Castaway Kitchen. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us, how did you heal yourself through food?
Yeah, I have autoimmune conditions. I mean, more than one, but the biggest one that was just this defining factor in my life was hidradenitis suppurativa, which it's a mouthful. We call it HS for short, but it's a debilitating skin condition. It affects parts of your body where there's lymph node concentrations. It's abscesses and boils. It's embarrassing. It's painful. It leaves scars. I grew up in Miami, so throw that into the bag of cats and talk about traumatizing.
All skin.
Right, and so it was really hard, and I got to that. I lived with it for 18 years, and doctors didn't help me, and they just told me antibiotics or cortisone shots. I was 29 years old. I had a baby. We were living in Hawaii, and it started spreading to areas where it wasn't before, and I hit this panic, and so I hit to Dr. Google back then and started doing all this research, and I found the autoimmune protocol and the connection between food and my symptoms, and I couldn't believe it that no one had mentioned it. But I was a restaurant chef, so I was like, I can do food. So I started applying these protocols into the elimination protocols, removing allergens, inflammatory foods, and it worked. I've been in remission now for years, 4 years now. It took about a year to get there, and I can't tell you how it's changed my life. I'm no longer in pain. I can do things. I mean, I can wear. I mean, I'm not wearing sleeves right now. No longer affects me. I lost 60 pounds. I had also been really overweight. I no longer have inflammation, fatigue, brain fog. I mean, it's
wow. So
incredible.
did you just have to clean house and stop eating practically everything you were eating and replace it all, or were there specific foods that you just had to really focus on?
So everyone's different, right? And that's kind of my approach with in my book. So with Made Simple, what I'm giving you is how the body works. I want to tell you how it works so you know, because once you know how it works, you know how it works for you. And this information it's not given to us. We're talking, there's so many people, they want to sell you a plan and say this way works. But I know, because now I help thousands of people heal as well, but they're not going to heal doing what I did. They have to figure out what's going to work for them. So, but yes, it is about removing inflammatory foods. So definitely big ones, anything processed, sugar, refined carbohydrates, inflammatory seed-based oils, things like that. So I walk you through not just, hey, take them out, but why? And maybe why especially for you. So for me, one of my biggest trigger foods, which is what we call a food that can incite a reaction, is our nightshades. So tomatoes, eggplant, white potato, and any kind of pepper.
You wouldn't expect that, right?
It's a vegetable. It's a healthy food. I used to
Right.
love eggplant. I mean, I was a chef. Right? Tomato sauce, are you kidding me? From scratch marinara was my jam. And when I thought, I can't cook in a restaurant again. If I react to tomatoes and potatoes, how am I ever going to be a restaurant chef again? And but That's how the Castaway Kitchen was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I just love that. So in working with, different types of people, what are the main triggers and symptoms that you've seen that people were like, I didn't expect this to be from the food I was eating?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the biggest things, and this isn't a major like debilitating trigger, but it's just something that you realize a lot of people have, postnasal drip, or like eczema, kind of flaky, rashy skin.
That's so funny because
Go ahead.
person who shall remain nameless,
Yeah.
every time I eat with them, those drips. And I'm like, what is going on here? Why do you need a Kleenex over a hamburger? I just don't understand.
These connections people need to start making, because it might be livable right now, but that could develop into something. So I like to practice like preventative. So if you have symptoms now, like heartburn, like acid reflux is something that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, Tums and acids, but all these proton pump inhibitors, they're lowering your stomach acid production. And what that's going to make is you're not going to digest your food properly. You're going to be malnourished, and it can even cause leaky gut. So there's so many things that people do on a daily basis that they're not. It's wild, because yes, for now it might be okay, but it might not be in a few years. And you go through one stressful event, a divorce, a car accident, financial something, and that can incite your gene expression, and voila, you manifested autoimmune disease, because that's how it works. It's like in our genes, but like sometimes the gene expression is like a switch that turns on and off.
Wow.
So those are common ones. But again, autoimmunity, like women with Hashimoto's, the rates, it does affect men, but women more. Brain fog, just that kind of like, I can't focus, and waking up in the middle of the night. If you wake up around 2, 3 in the morning and you have a hard time going back to sleep, that's a sign of blood sugar dysregulation. So you have to talk about what's going on there.
Well, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, so it's so funny because a lot of people,
Guilty.
It's hard because you realize, and I'm telling people, I don't want people to live a restricted life. I love food. Food should be for enjoyment and pleasure. But I want you to love the food that loves you back.
Love that.
Is so important. And I think sometimes we'll see someone kind of restricting something from their diet. They think they give that a negative connotation.
Right.
If I don't eat red meat,
Sure.
it's for negative reasons, not because, hey, that just doesn't work for me.
Right.
So so you did this, and where can people start with this? Do they have to, because part of the challenge, I guess, is because you don't know exactly what food or foods are causing the problem, and unless you eliminate them all and then add them one by one back in, you don't know, right? So how do you recommend people start?
So there are a few different elimination protocols that you can do. I tend to, the way I work now, like my first book was Made Whole, and that one I really outlined like popular elimination protocols, the autoimmune protocol, or like going paleo, or even things like programs like Whole30 can be useful, right? But I think what I started seeing in my line of work is that people would get stuck in the elimination phase because they would create food fear.
Yeah.
Because now their symptoms are gone and they don't want to reintroduce
Right.
foods. And so with Made Simple, that's why I give you the how. I talk about digestion, how it should work, how to optimize it, blood sugar regulation, fatty acid balance, mineral and hydration. Because that way, when you understand what's happening, like the mechanisms behind why this stuff is working for you, then you won't get paralyzed in that fear.
Yeah.
So I do outline autoimmune protocol and paleo and like grain-free, allergen-friendly protocols, but I really like to emphasize it's not forever. It's not forever, because I think that long-term restriction can be detrimental. So
when you figured out what triggered you and you eliminated those things in your life, how did it really change?
It's incredible because I think about this sometimes, and everything changed. I mean, not only my health, but my mental health, like my physical health, my mental health. I struggled with ADHD, I have depression, none of that. I mean, and like I have none of those symptoms anymore. I have boundless energy, and even just my life took, my career took off, my marriage became healthier, and even just my family. Like I have a 7-year-old, and my husband's active duty military, and it's incredible seeing how the whole family as a whole we've changed. No one in my household takes any kind of prescription medication. We're all super healthy, and our life revolves around kind of like wellness and being active and doing things together and human connection. And I have healthy coping mechanisms now, where before I would binge eat, or I would I kind of call like using food as self-harm. It's kind of like binge eating. I was like to that point. Or I used to drink a lot. I mean, I grew up in Miami, party girl. That was me. I mean, I did all the things, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I was someone who always lived a healthy lifestyle. Like you're talking to a Miami nightlife veteran who did and I had this skin condition, and I was overweight, and I grew up in Miami, and my self-esteem was crap, and I did the drugs and the drinking and all the bad things. And I think back now, and I mean, I'm 35, and I think about me at 23, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could give her a hug.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
It's so fascinating. So tell us about Castaway Kitchen.
So the Castaway Kitchen, the name came about because we were living in Hawaii. We were in this hotel room because when you're in the military and you move somewhere new, like you live in a hotel for a while until you find a house. So I felt very castaway. And also because my family's Cuban, and so there was a whole nautical thing. And so my logo's a paper boat. You know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Beautiful.
and so I started posting on my iPhone 5 like pictures of food I was cooking and sharing it online, and it kind of took off because luckily with my culinary skills, I'm able to create meals that are extremely good for you, but that taste really good.
Oh, wow.
So people don't feel like they're missing out. So people can really nourish their body and still get pleasure from food, and food with cultural significance and celebratory things, because it shouldn't be a prison sentence. It's not. It is a lifestyle.
Yeah. Fantastic. So exciting.
It really is so exciting, and I just love the freedom you're able to offer
Yes.
people, because that's what it's really about. And so many people have these triggers and they live in this pain and just this world that could be so much more fulfilling and so much more fun if they knew what they could eat and how they could celebrate. So thank you for doing that and making it simple for us.
Thank you.
Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
Yeah, so I'm at the Castaway Kitchen on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm all over Pinterest. My blog, thecastawayKitchen.com, has hundreds of free recipes and articles. I've been at this forever, and both my books are available anywhere books are sold. So Made Whole is everywhere, and then Made Simple comes out in 2 weeks, and March 10th. So yeah, and I just started a podcast, Body Wise podcast, with my sister.
Nice,
who's
congrats.
a holistic sexual health educator, so we kind of get into like all the women's health issues. But yeah, thanks.
Very
Love it.
exciting.
Staying
Thank you,
busy.
Cristina. We appreciate you. Keep streaming. We'll be right back.